What's up, everyone? Welcome to The Plot Strikes Back, and you're here to talk about Dune Prophecy, the 10,000-year-old prequel that takes place before Dune Part 1 and Part 2 from the book and the movie series from Denis Villeneuve. If you have not seen this first episode yet, there will be spoilers. You are forewarned. If you're new here and you want to support the channel, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. I think this first episode is interesting, primarily because I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on X. And I know what you're thinking, that doesn't mean that everyone doesn't like the show, but it's interesting to see that there's a lot of people that don't like it. It's one of 6 episodes in this first season, so as much as we don't want to see things linger on and be slow, that is one of the things that happens in this first episode. There is a slowness to it in certain parts. I think there's a little bit of a pacing issue as well. And that might not be the case for every single episode, but for the first episode, we do see it. And I get it. They're trying to build some conversations. They're trying to build, some exposition between the characters and build the story and the backstories for our characters and the houses and the plot of this show. I don't think it was perfect. And again, I think there's some things that could have been shortened or maybe even removed. But there again, I didn't write it, nor am I doing any sort of final cuts on the episode of what makes it and what does not make it. Some things of interest to me, and the things that really intrigued me, were the plot points with the death of Dorothea and the Truthsayer breeding program, right? We see Vayla Harkoneen use the voice to make Dorothea stab herself in the neck, committing suicide. And really that emphasizes the character of Vayla, and she has this ruthless commitment to the Sisterhood's purpose, which she now is putting on her back because of the beginning when she is younger and a teenager, where the Mother Superior, Raquella, has this vision, and as she's dying, she calls out Valia's name, tells her to come over, and then she basically takes the reign of the Sisterhood. Another big plot point between the arranged marriage between Princess Inez and Pruitt. And again, it's this political maneuver from Vayla. She's trying to ensure that the imperial bloodline remains stable. It's a sign of political intricacies at play, highlighting the tensions between House Corrino and other factions, as the marriage is framed as a necessity for Emperor Javicco to maintain his dominion over Arrakis, his Dune. And as far as the character arcs go in this first episode, Vayla, being Mother Superior, she's very pragmatic, and she's willing to use lethal tactics to maintain the influence from the Sisterhood. And she's obviously orchestrating a lot of political things throughout this first episode, as we see. And of course, as we know from the Dune series, or as we know from the Dune movie or the books, Arrakis is the main concern because of the spice. It is imperative to control it. She wants the House Corrino to control Arrakis. And again, the marriage is a temporary solution. We obviously know it's not going to last that long because of what happens at the end of the episode, which also creates tension. And I expect more tension and more drama to happen from the Imperial houses. This is also, to me, showing how the Harkonnens grow as a family or grow as a house. Another significant part of the episode, which was a key plot line, are the psychic and prophetic forces here at play. We obviously know for the Bene Gesserit and the Sisterhood that they have the powers of the voice, and there are other psychic powers from Kasha and also Desmond, as we find out. Although they come from what looks like different entities, the abilities that they have profound consequences, as we also see here in this first episode. Kasha has visions that foreshadow her not only for her own death, but a larger upheaval. And Desmond has a psychic attack that introduces an idea that powers are intertwined with the fate of key figures within the universe itself. And that really adds a layer of mysticism and uncertainty added to the political narrative, that the only person that really sees it or has an idea of it because of this foreshadowing vision was originally Raquella, but also Vayla. She sees the vision, as he says in the end of the episode, because Kasha has been ignited on fire, which is the psychic attachment from Pruitt, as Desmond towards the end is sitting across from him on the floor, and Desmond is making these faces that are almost hard to look at in some cases, because you see a young boy being burnt alive to a crisp. Moments before in that particular scene, young Pruitt says, "What are you doing here? You're just a soldier. There's no war here." But Desmond knows or thinks otherwise, and uses his ability to kill Pruitt right before him. And from Desmond's own words, he is hinting that there are larger and darker forces here at work, which also could be related to the Fremen on Arrakis, or other factions that seemingly threaten the Empire's stability. And now he has the ear of Emperor Javicco. One other thing that I liked that this episode did, and it started off this way in the beginning, where the prologue sets up this cataclysmic war between humanity and the thinking machines. It's an event that shaped the Dune universe. Centuries beforehand, humanity's reliance on AI led to the machines rebelling against their creators. Where have we seen this before? In quite a few different IPs and books. There's a brutal conflict known as the Butlerian Jihad, and it ended with humanity's victory and the complete eradication of AI, but at a staggering cost. The historical backdrop explains that the rise of factions like the Sisterhood, who took on the role of ensuring this human survival by mastering physical, mental, and genetic disciplines to fill the void left by a banned technology of AI. All in all, there are some new elements here with the thinking machines and the AI and the ripple effect of how that's sort of been emptied, and now things are trying to fill that sort of void like the Sisterhood and so forth. But there are things that we've seen before. We know that Dune and Arrakis is the most important, vital aspect of this show, of this universe, because whoever controls the spice controls the universe, and it's imperative that it is under control because of the political aptitude of the Bene Gesserit, and as we see Vayla Harkoneen wanting and manipulating everything to her will from her perspective. Now, I'm not too sure exactly what's going to happen in the upcoming episodes. I'm hoping that the remainder of the season, picks up a bit, and that there aren't any slower parts to it. We saw a little bit of Kieran, Atreides, and Princess have a little bit of a love relationship. I'm not sure if that's going to cause any drama. I assume it will, but we'll have to see how that plays out. All that being said, what does everyone else think about this show? Did you like this first episode? Are you intrigued for the remainder of the season? Are you going to watch the remainder of this season as well? Go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section below. If there's anything that I missed or did not include in this episode, feel free to leave a comment again, and I'll just respond and share my thoughts that way. So I appreciate you watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the next one here on The Plot Strikes Back. Cheers.